It's after 4. The Personnel Human Services Committee will come to order. Roll call.
Ryder.
Here.
Durancer.
Here.
Krieger.
Yes.
Kayak.
Here.
Coonan.
Here.
Lutz.
Here.
Herrick.
Here.
Warren Brothers.
Thank you. Minutes of May 16, 2017. What's your pleasure?
I'll move.
Support. Moved and supported. All in favor signify by these with sign.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carried. It's time for public input. Anyone wishing to address the committee will come forward, please.
Good afternoon. Today's topic is going to be credibility. Mr. Lutz, would you be so kind as to show these pictures? One at a time. There's a picture of the 1974 Tobacco Marsh. Now that's a pretty good picture. That's before anything was done. This is a 2014 picture from the DEQ website. Now this is off their own website. There's nothing conjured up, nothing that's made up. It's off their own site. Now, drain law. I'll run you 7 copies here, 3 over. Talk about drainage laws. I thought this was the simplest one to read because it doesn't have all the mumble jumble into it. Also notice that there was a article about South Linwood Beach being closed. The only difference in this article and the first one is they said nothing about determination on what caused it. The reason they did is because I took a copy of the bacterial report over to the gentleman that wrote this, and he couldn't believe it. Now, we also know that here from the, I believe it's from the Free Press, 15 people criminally charged in Flint. Willful neglect of duties, conspiracies, the list goes on. There's a whole host. This is another one off the DEQ site, attainment. Guess which area is in the attainment? McCollin, Saginaw, Sheboygan, the list goes on with this. We have the EPA ECHO. Talk about our so-called wastewater treatment plants. Just the 3. They didn't go all the way in. They're all in the red. No attainment. Clean Water Violation Act, red. Now this is the DEQ. They're supposed to be handling this. Your county profile and health. Everything's right here. University of Washington. They have the information. Public sector group. So we're all aware of that. August of 2000. They talk about sediment and bacteria in here. In August of 2000, the DEQ does not know what it is. They seem to know. Applied environmental microbiology. Very good report here. They seem to know too. Here's another one from the same group, a little bit more in depth as far as what the problem is. So now we go in and we say, what is the problem? The marsh is an area that contains water. Back in the 70s, they had all kinds of flooding, and the Detroit-Mackinac Railroad was complaining their railroad bridge was being washed out, so the Corps of Engineers came in to take and fix it. They blocked off the road. They went from 2 bridges on down to an 8-foot tube. So, mind you, in 1956, when the natural water flow doctrine was brought in, This was in the 70s. They took it upon themselves to block off that flow out of the Tobago Marsh. You go back to 1916, it was called Tobago Bay. What took place? Flow of water. Gone. That's all right here. This paper. Now here's some good ones here. This is from historicaerials.com. This is 1954. And in this one here, if you would be so kind, Mr. Lutz, to show that there's a complete aerial shot in 1954 of the marsh in the lagoon.
Isn't the marsh and the lagoon the same thing?
The marsh is the upper part of the Tobago Marsh. The lagoon is on the other side of Tobago Road, as it's known today.
It's all in the body, right? I just saw it.
The body of water is supposed to be as one
All right.
on the natural flow. Here's 1954 showing the two bridges at Tobago Road, if you care to show that.
That's what this one, right?
I'll get her back.
And this one here, this shows you the water behind Little Clarny Beach. And this hole right over here is where I used to live. Not in 1954, but there was water back here all the way. Go back and take a look at the changes. So we got credibility from the DEQ Corps of Engineers and from some other interested parties, which we're not going to finger point because I think in court of law that will come out in time. Now we're going to jump over to the Bayside Park, the Peerless Report. 2 pages was given. There's 120 pages. In here, it talks about the contact. It does not allow anything to do with the activity of living because it does not meet the criteria level for residential standards. But it meets it for your recreational standard. But the guy said, I would build a home on it. DEQ didn't know the top was taken off. It was pushed to the south over Toppling Road, tube was pulled. That blocked it off. Now, was it a park? Here is the 2002 master plan for Bangor Township. And here on pages 56 and 57, it is showing here township recreational facilities. 27 acres located just west of Bangor Road, Zimmer Road, 1925. The site was given to the township for the sole purpose of developing recreational facilities for the residents of Bangor Township. Doesn't say a thing about confined disposal facility, which the Corps of Engineers has classified it as an upland confined disposal facility. So I would dare that person that can take that off and come forward if they can. Now, here's the Michigan Right to Farm Act. We're going to go into property takings now. The Michigan Right to Farm Act, as you can see, we're talking about the Morley issue. The Morley issue is 130 acres that was blocked off from water flow. So where does that leave him? Leaves him with nothing, but 130 acres of nothing. Was there a plan? Well, here's February 2014. If you really want to get into seeing how many properties they want, here's all the list. Here's the other part of the list. And you'll notice the insignia. Now, when I look at credibility, I look at being able to trust the people that are elected to office, that are holding office, they're appointed to office. I don't expect them to tell me everything because there are some things that are confidential. There are some things I don't need to know. But when you're asked a question, you should at least be able to give them an answer. And I find it strange that we've waited this long to say, wow, we got a problem over in the Tobago Marsh because the marsh is being held with water. And it's strange that the current in the bay goes out the channel, turns around, and comes back. Look it up on Great Lakes Current. You can see it. And if you want to see what it looks like on a sunny day, go to MODIS, M-O-D-I-S. You'll get to see it. Both credible sites. They're NOAA. Why would I doubt my government, right? People in Flint didn't doubt their government either. 15 people now on the hook. Will there be more? Probably. One person's persistence, Melissa Mays. That's what did it. I would think it's about time maybe that we start looking into what we got to do here. Because I think we're being led down the wrong path by the DEQ, Corps of Engineers, and so forth. Really need to take a hard look. Do some soul searching. Any questions?
Mr. Cricket?
Thank you. Mike, that website again, MODIS?
MODIS, M-O-D-I-S.
And
You
that
can
will
go
show,
back about 16 days.
but it will show the current flow going out.
It will show an actual satellite picture of the bay, and you can see the algae coming out of the streams, ditches, so forth.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Barsha?
Yeah, Mike, I want to thank you for your testimony today before the board. And just say, I know we've discussed many times, and I appreciate all the information you've supplied to my office to review. I can recall the days when I was younger when people used to fish in that lagoon. But it's my understanding that water, due to the current changes, it's basically dead water that doesn't sustain wildlife. Is that your perception as well?
The water is stagnant. It's deoxygenated by the DEQ standards, not by anybody else's standards, in the Tobacco Marsh. You have waterfall, which is leaving when you itself. You look at the bacterial report, you will see probably one of your main causes. That's not counting the ditches with CAFO farms, and the list goes on and on and on. But that is your nearest problem right now. When they put the weir in, they took the bridge out and went from probably about a 40 or 50 foot opening down to an 8-foot opening. You restricted the flow. When they put the weir in, they built both ends in, made it like a dike. Then they built a bridge over it, when they could have built a bridge over the entire area. And that restricted the flow. And then they tried to blame it on the beavers. Well, what do beavers do? They like to build a thing called dams. And why did they build dams? For water. But when the water is stagnant, what do you have? The Nuclear Regulatory Commission did a study back there in 2002, December, and January 2003. And they were testing for all the nasty IUMs. And I noticed something in the map that it led me to believe that they were testing north. When I called them, they said that that is exactly what they were doing. The water flow originally went south through the lagoon. You go back there today and you'll see on one side of the road it's filled in. On the other side there's only a little tiny creek running there. So it's pretty much changed by man and poor decisions by organizations, groups, and parts of the government. That's just my opinion, but I'm backing it up with all their facts off their websites.
Yeah, well, I know Laura Hogar, Director of Environmental Affairs and Community Development, we should engage in discussion with CORE and the DNR. Of course, any of the commissioners have dedicated so much of their time and resources to restoring as many amenities to basically state parks as we can. I think that the lagoon would be a popular fishing hole. I believe it used to contain a number of bass and stuff. Prior to the work that you've highlighted today, I've received nothing but complaints. It's just dead water. It doesn't support anything. Just as far as wildlife or fish. So,
Just a little side note. Sitting down with my granddaughter was watching a movie, an old one. It's called Convoy. Ernest Borgnine, Chris Christopherson driving truck. And Ernest Borgnine said, now that I've got you, he said, I want you to remember you got to pay a fine. So the fine, he says, is going to be, he said, because the few are going to have to suffer for the greater majority of this town. Now, I've heard that saying before, but I can't quite place where I heard it from, but it's unique to say the least when you hear that. This was back 70s, 80s. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Well, thank you very much, Mike. And well, Laura had a conflict, so she couldn't be at today's board meeting, but I know she's aware of it. We've had discussions, and we ought to try to press those regulatory agencies to see what they think about somehow restructuring those changes that were made to hopefully get a lagoon that can sustain fish. It's a nice asset to the park, and a lot of our handicapped people, whatever, could use that trail system to just throw a line over the water and hopefully get a nibble or a couple of bites and land a fish or something. But anyway, thank you, Mike, for your comments. We all do really care about trying to enhance the quality of the waterfront.
Well, what you
That's
do
a big
today,
part of it.
what you do today is real simple. It's going to affect kids and grandkids for your next generation. I've got an 8-year-old granddaughter that's asking me, what am I doing? Here I am. Thank you.
Well, you're definitely tenacious on your goal, that's for sure. So, thank you for your comments.
Thank you. Anyone else who wishes to address our committee today? Seeing none under petitions and communications, we have a presentation of recognition tribute to Zola Groh, sponsored by Commissioner Durancheck. Mrs. Groh is retiring after 45 years of volunteer service to the Penn County Area Emergency Food Pantry. Deanne, would you read the resolution, please?
Yes, it's a resolution by the Bay County Board of Commissioners, sponsored by Commissioner Michael J. Durancheck, 1st District. Whereas, after 45 years of dedicated selfless service, Zola Groh recently announced her retirement in the Penn County Area Emergency Food Pantry. And whereas, during her tenure with the Penn County Area Emergency Food Pantry, Zola Groh, one of the agency's founding members, has been coordinating the food pantry and making certain there was food available for all the families in need. Her efforts extended to securing appliances and furniture when there is a dire need. And whereas Zola Groh continues to enhance the lives of low-income families and seniors in the local communities through volunteer service on the Mid-Michigan Community Action Agency, and was rewarded for her volunteer efforts with the Valuable Volunteer Award, as well as a certification of special congressional recognition from the U.S. House of Representatives, and in 2013 was presented an award for her community action volunteer efforts. And whereas additional numerous volunteer efforts by Zola Groh benefit the Girl Scouts, Bowling League, Methodist Women's Organization, Penn County Methodist Church, various golf outings, and the Saginaw Valley Indian Association, and she has been recognized for her various volunteer contributions. And whereas in 2006, Zola and Harvey Groh received the Citizen of the Year Award from the Penn County Area Chamber of Commerce for their years of service to the Penn County Area Emergency Food Pantry Association, and they were recognized in 1988 with the Vital Action Citizen Award sponsored by a Volunteer Action Center of Bay County. And whereas in serving the Penn County area through her extensive selfless acts of kindness, Zola Groh has been a visible force in this community and has earned the respect and admiration of all who have worked with her over the years. Therefore, be it resolved that the Bay County Board of Commissioners and the Bay County Executive take this opportunity to express their heartfelt appreciation to Zola Groh, recognizing her volunteer contributions which have benefited so many, and offer their best wishes for a long, healthy, and fulfilling retirement. Signed by the full Board of Commissioners.
Thank you. At this time, I would ask Mrs. Groh and family if they would come forward, please, for a presentation by Commissioner Durancheck.
Me? Is that all right, Zola?
Well, on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, and especially myself, I'd like to present you with a copy of the resolution that was just presented to us. And thank you very much for all the 45 years and helping out hundreds of families. Along with Zola's, their daughter, Cookie here, who has taken over the second shift of the Pink County Food Pantry, and her dedicated volunteers. This year, they, with everybody's help in Bay County, got $5,000 grant from. So that was a really nice call-in deal. We ended up in second place, so that's pretty good.
I can't talk. My throat is. Oh, okay. I have Annette Palmer here. She wants to
Anyways, put it up. Okay. I just want to thank you all for this. I know my mom is very appreciative of it, and she just loves helping out everybody. And she's been here many years, and her and Dad started out, and so I've stepped in now, and I'm trying to take care of where they dropped off. So we just really appreciate all the help from everybody that we get help from, and we appreciate all the awards. So thank you.
didn't say cheese. Maybe he'll take it over. Thank you very much.
Under B, we have the Director of Recreation and Facilities, renewal contract with Cattail Kayak Rental for kayak rental at the Pinconning Park. What is your pleasure?
So moved. Support.
Then moved and supported. Commissioner
Just
Grant.
a comment here on Kayak Bob, as Bob Charlebois is known as up there. He's like another employee for the county because he's on that beach all the time raking up stuff. I'm sure Kristen, and he really does a good job. So, although the percentage of the county's take may not be much, it's just something else for our park to offer. And like I say, he's out there every day raking up whatever needs to be raked up, and he's grooming all the time. So he's like an unpaid employee. So it's a good deal.
Commissioner Krieger.
Yeah, the amount of kayaks that are rented out on any one given day, is it a dozen? They have kind of an idea.
I wouldn't say it's a dozen. I think he has maybe about, you say 6?
Yep. Yes.
About 6 kayaks up there. And depending on the weather, he gets, various rentals because he rents by the hour, so he could rent out the kayaks a couple times a day. So it's a great gig for us in the fact that he really takes care of our beach. He watches out for, all of the swimmers. He is a great advocate for our park. And not to mention, every single person that comes in to rent kayaks for him, we get a $3 parking pass from. So there's an additional, besides the 5%, there's an additional monetary gain there.
Why I ask is, of course, with the state park in our backyard, we'd like to consider or look into some type of an arrangement that will allow campers or whoever that come to the park to possibly rent kayaks at the state park also. So this person might be a good contact for the DNR to talk to and see whether or not he would be interested in branching out or at least giving us a direction or idea of what to expect as far as the maintenance and storage and liability.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure he would love to, speak with you. I do know that because he does kayak rentals by appointment, him living so close to the park is definitely a benefit. He's up in Pinconning, which is 20 or so minutes from the state park. But,
Right.
yeah, I'm sure he'd be happy to give you some advice.
That'd be wonderful. Thank you.
Commissioner Coonan.
Thank you, sir. I was going to speak very similar to what Aaron mentioned, and I think it's a great program up there, and the dollars are incidental, but it would be nice if those rentals were tracked so that we could use that data to see just exactly if it's worth investing, because we're going to have some beach wellness dollars as well, and I think any type of recreation where there is good. So I don't know if 5% it's not the money, it's just how it's being, is it growing, is there a demand for it or anything like that. So any kind of information that you may have, I think it would be great for anybody else looking to locate kayaks somewhere else along the bay.
Commissioner Grant.
Just as another added comment, not only is he there a lot of the time, as Kristen stated, there's a phone number there. He's less than 5 minutes away, lives on the beach and everything. I mean, he's got a home on the beach, doesn't live on the beach. Some of us have lived on the beach. So, I mean, he's on call. I mean, him and his wife both are very active in our community, but he's on call 24/7 just above for calls and stuff like that. So, yeah, they're good people.
Any further discussion? Mr. Barsha.
Just very briefly wanted to add to the accolades Penn County Park has already received. And say, Mike, I know you've been a leader and championed the park over the years, along with support of each of your commissioners. But I was very impressed with an email that Kristen received earlier today about a gentleman from southeast Michigan who drives all the way up to Penn County Park with his family. And was it 5 or 6 months he rents a space? And he was clear that Penn County Park was his destination of choice. And his family really enjoys it. He was extolling the virtues of the park. And real compliment to Dan, volunteers, the staff, yourself, and the board for everything you've done to make that a beautiful park.
Further discussion?
Add that because of the timeliness of the correspondence to Kristen.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carried. From the Interim Director of Department of Aging, we have the Senior Fresh Program, seeking approval for memorandum of agreement. Been moved and supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your sign.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carried. Number 2, Medicare, Medicaid Assistance Program.
So moved.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Commissioner Coonan.
That's from the Division on Aging as well.
Yes, sir.
I see we have Beth here. Maybe, I was going to ask, and I guess I didn't pull the trigger quick enough. Could you give us a little synopsis on the previous and this one as well?
The Project Fresh?
Yeah.
We're going to receive, I spoke with Sherry King from the Department of Health and Human Services and Office of the Aging in Lansing. She's going to give us 100 vouchers for our clients, homebound clients, that will be 185% and below in poverty. So our case managers will recognize on their caseload who those are and get them to them. They can put somebody as a proxy so that they can get out to the farmers market and get the fresh produce.
Is it a one-time?
It's right now it's a one-time this year. It goes through till December of this year. They have to use them.
Okay. Is it a dollar amount attached to it?
Yes.
That's all right.
Yeah. Yep. There is a dollar amount attached to it. They get. Let me find that.
It's all right.
Yeah. Yeah, but they do, and we hope to renew this every year with them. We used to go through MSU Extension.
I think it's great. And then on the second one, the one
With the MAT program, we've been doing that since 2005.
Right.
That's been my baby. And we've been up in Pinconning area before, and we're going back with the help of Commissioner Duranchik. So, but what it is, it's once a week we sign up where they can come in and we do the Medicare Part D lookups and help them get signed up for that.
Prescription.
Yes, prescription and the Medicare Advantage plan, which is the prescription and health insurance together.
That's for people under 65.
They're 60 years and older, according to Bay County Department on Aging. Yep.
Then at 65, they're on Medicaid.
Correct.
Medicare.
And we do it for all of our clients,
Good.
whether if they're dual enroll, that's really easy to do, which is Medicare and Medicaid together. So yes,
That's a great program.
it is, absolutely.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by the usual sign.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, carried. And we have Senior Community Service Employment Program.
So,
Support.
Move and support. Any discussion? Seeing
Another
none?
good program. How many people do we bring in?
Right now, in Department on Aging, we have 4 people.
Yeah.
Yep, and we also pair with the Health Department and with Bay County.
But that's good information. If
Yep.
anybody was watching this and we just approve things and nobody knows what's going on, well, that's a great program.
It is.
We put 4 people to work that can use.
Yep, and teach them new skill. Yep, absolutely.
Good job.
Thanks.
No more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by the usual sign.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, carried. Under C, Golden Horizons Adult Care Center.
so,
Support.
And move and support. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by the usual sign.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, carried. From the Personnel Director, we have a vacancy, Healthcare Department, Public Health Nurse. What's your pleasure?
or,
Move and supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by the usual sign.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, carried. From Bay County Anti-Retaliation Policy.
So moved.
support,
And move and supported. Is there any discussion? Commissioner Krieger.
Thank you. Just a comment. It's something that somehow must have slipped through the cracks, and I am very glad that administrations looked at this and made sure that the employees at the county are protected. And nice job. Good coverage. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by the usual sign. Opposed, same sign. Carried. Are there any referrals? Seeing none. Unfinished business? None. Under new business, we received the communications, you have it before you, from Lakeshore Legal Aid. They provide legal assistance for elder abuse prevention services to seniors. They have a 10-county region, and they're asking for our endorsement. Each county, they're asking each county for the endorsement. They're asking for ours.
so, support,
Then move and support it. Any discussion, Commissioner Krieger?
Is there a possibility that maybe someday in the future they could come in and address the board and kind of give us an overview of their services?
I would hope so. Commissioner Eric, is that a...
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. You know, maybe as soon as I don't know. We'll talk to Deanne, see what openings we have on our calendar, for them to come in with us, in the next couple of months.
Yeah, I think it's a service that once we get it out to the public, it'd be an asset to the county.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by the usual sign.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carried. Anything else under new business? No. Miscellaneous? Commissioner Krieger, announcements?
Yes, this is our big week. This coming Saturday, our 11th annual Beach Wellness will take and start at 8 o'clock with a 15K run, to be followed at 9 o'clock with our 5 and 10K run and walk. Happen to be wearing some of the orange from past races. Mother Nature seems to look like it's going to cooperate, and usually rain or shine, even with the northeast wind, we will still be out there providing a healthy way of getting involved in the environment. So come out and join in the fun. Thank you.
Your orange buddy, Commissioner Coonan, do you have anything to
I
add?
can't top that.
You can't talk. Commissioner...
I don't think we have another meeting. The Auburn Corn Fest is July 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th.
parade's on the 9th at 1 o'clock. There's usually a lot of politicians out there walking in that parade. And it's usually about 100 degrees, but we have a lot of water. So come on out to Auburn Corn Fest.
Any other announcements, Commissioner Brancher?
I'd like to just thank everybody and Mr. Barsha also that came out and helped us at our race. It was a rainy day for the Cheese Town race, but we ended up with 450 regular racers and over 100 little Mises, and the clouds all cleared, and it was beautiful by race time at 6, so we had a real good turnout. Great fireworks that evening, and again, thank you, Mr. Barsha.
Is there a motion to adjourn out there?
But just to add to that, I wouldn't give him a knife because of his cut, so he was the official orange stacker and watermelon because of his hand injury. I didn't want him to take off any more fingers with my sushi knives or anything.
I want to thank you, Mike, for the invitation. It really was great to work with Jennifer and you and all the other volunteers. Tremendous turnout. Good thing I didn't try that 7 mile run, or this seat might be vacant today. But it was a pleasure passing out water, Gatorade, and fruit to all the contestants. Everybody, the weather cleared up just perfectly. It was a beautiful event. Thanks, Mike, for your leadership on continuing to support it. It was a great event in Bay County. But I also have one final comment to the board, and that is just to remind all of you and our big CTV audience to, if possible, participate in the current Facebook contest sponsored by Independent Bank, which would make us eligible for a $5,000 financial gift to improve our animal control shelter. We are currently in 6th place statewide. I didn't realize it when Debbie talked to me, but it's a statewide contest, so we're up against some pretty populous counties there. But the $5,000 would go to help us address a problem so we can get a little more separation between some of the barking dogs that cause stress on the cats, which make them a little more compromises their immune system, like continuous stress, makes them a little more susceptible to respiratory illness. And when you adopt a cat out, sometimes if it has kennel cough or respiratory illness of any kind, it's a more expensive proposition to get them back into pristine health. But this $5,000 hasn't been decided, but that would be an appropriate use to help improve conditions within the facility. And I just remind you, if you can, you're all eligible to vote every 24 hours until June 29th for Bay County Animal Control. Sorry about that. And the link to vote is on our website. Thank you very much, Nick, for that. But most of all, I want to thank the Director of Administration Services, and the group that she put together to look at best practices being employed at Bay County. And I think we're quite a bit of the way there, but it took hundreds of hours of Debbie Russell and the volunteers on that committee, including animal control staff and statewide organizations that want to improve conditions for especially domestic pets, but animals in Michigan. And Debbie deserves a lot of accolades for all the work that's done, extensive work. And we'll be meeting again this Wednesday to kind of wrap things up and make recommendations to Bay County Animal Control. But I know how busy you are, but if you're on Facebook and you see the site, you can weigh in, you can vote daily. We're up against Oakland and Wayne and Kent County and Ingham County, so we've got a lot of competition out there. But as Debbie helped me prepare this remark, we're in 6th place as of today. So if we can just get a little higher, we might be able to get fusion resources into our Bay County Animal Control that will really help both the dogs and the cats that are housed there. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Is there a motion to?
Motion to adjourn is always in order.
Was that on the county's website?
Yes, it
It
is.
is. Where do you go? Just animal control, or how
No,
do you?
there's actually a link on the county's website. It's a Facebook link, so you can vote on Facebook, but it's kind of a,
You can go to the counties to get to the Facebook.
yes,
to vote.
and
just get it,
All right.
and you can vote on it, and it goes right to our,
Sounds
right
good.
to our Facebook.
Thank you.
Commissioner Begic?
Just a quick question on the schedule. I assume we're not meeting on July 4th, so it'll be July 11th, the
Correct.
combined meeting.
How about that, Mitch?
Motion to adjourn is always in order.
The move and support us, all in favor, signify by the usual sign. Opposed, same sign, carried, we're adjourned.
We're not-